Girlfriend look like Ellen.
Swag.
Chain like DeGeneres. Damn little beat.
Swag.
You done came up.
Swag.
Now you touring heavy in your show.
Good news! I finally found a video to do! I'm happy about that, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so let me give some context. Here's a guy. He did a commentary on this guy. This guy made a video on his top 10 scariest retro enemies that are from non-horror games. That's the basic gist of it, so let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty.
Oh, looks like there's some leftover candy from this guy's house. I wonder what he's got. Huh. Blue raspberry commentary material. Lick, 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 lick.
Yeah, please never do that again. Ever. Please.
So, this is a rather unusual scenario we have here. Today, I'm doing a commentary on a Halloween top 10 made by none other than famed gaming YouTuber Pro Jared. Now, I'll be honest, I actually really like Pro Jared as a content creator, and it honestly kind of hurts having to expose his mistakes, especially after what he's had to deal with IRL. But at the same time, this video really hit some of the wrong buttons for me. I mean, to be fair, I don't necessarily hate this video per se, but after watching it through a few times, I did notice a few mistakes here and there. Jared, if you're watching this, hello, I'm Blazing Lore Vesta. Today, I will be providing a critique of your top 10 scariest retro enemies not from horror games list, pointing out mistakes you made in your video and giving you advice on how to improve future works. Please note that I may make a few jokes that may come off as hurtful or insulting to you, but in the end, said jokes are purely made for entertainment purposes, and I do not actually wish any ill will towards you. With that said, I hope you enjoy my video.
Okay, the structure for this opening explanation was interesting, to say the least. Let me see if I can abridge it to give an idea.
Today, I will be commentating on video by Famous Guy. I like Famous Guy. I don't like video. I do, but it's a flawed video. Famous Guy, I will be commentating on video by you. Jokes are jokes, don't take them seriously, bro.
What I'm trying to say is that your structuring is very clunky and redundant. A lot of this felt like it could have been condensed or at least worded to sound more concise. Then there's the other bit where you sorta announce twice that you would be commentating on one of Pro Jared's videos. I could sort of see what you were going for the second time you mentioned this. In the small chance Jared sees this, you hope he won't take it as an attack. But regardless, it wasn't all that needed, and you could have made your note without it just fine. You know, I'm really glad these degree markers are on here. Didn't want to get lost in the whole 2 videos being shown.
Oh my god. Is that? No! It can't be! Off-screen footage?! Ah! Jeez, that scene of off-screen footage really hurt my eyes. Ow!
Well, that happened, and I genuinely don't know what to say. I'm not 100% sure if this was supposed to be a point or a joke. It's so out there and doesn't outright seem as if it's genuinely trying to drive that the on-screen footage is actually that bad. Regardless of that, I would still at least note how the recorded screen isn't even that bright or drastic in appearance. This is also ignoring that the way it was recorded appears to be intentional, to show him playing a horror game in a dark room in order to give a creepy feeling in order to open the Halloween video. So as a point, this is an issue, and as a joke, the exaggeration falls flat because of this.
I can only name a handful of horror games that have genuinely terrified me over the years. Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, PT. But you know what was way scarier? Pixels. None of this polygon back when imagination was used to fill the void, and it was gruesome.
You say, as you cite 2 polygon-based games and no pixel games that scared you? Double standards are the best.
That's not a double standard, Larva Boy. He only cited those games as the 2 actual horror games that genuinely scared him. Just because most didn't scare him doesn't mean a few won't succeed. Plus, what would listing pixel games by comparison prove? He's literally making a list of these games that did scare him. Sit down, please. Alongside this, he's specifically talking about non-horror retro games, and outright comparing those to actual horror games would just be jarring.
Bubble Bobble is one of the cutest games ever made. You play as a cute little dragon, all the enemies are adorable, you spit bubbles, and when the enemies pop, they become delicious food. Seriously, everything about this game is adorable and cutesy. How can it be spooky?
Everything in this cutesy cutesy game is just so cute and adorable, which is why I'm placing an enemy friend this game on a scariest enemies list.
Yeah, next time you might want to word your sentences better, just a suggestion.
Bad wording? How is that bad wording? All he said was that the game was cutesy, which, by the way, half of which was exaggeration. Very over the top and obvious exaggeration at that, which he was using to break into his actual reasoning. With this, I also want to add that just because something is cutesy doesn't mean it can't be creepy or scary. I say this because there's more to the entry than you let on, and you basically cut him off halfway through before he actually starts explaining his reasoning.
Seriously, everything about this game is adorable and cutesy. How can it be spooky? Easy, run out of time. Few things boost the anxiety like making the music go way faster. Also, having every single enemy go apeshit makes things worse. So now you're panicking trying to get all these dudes popped because the game's pressuring you. And that's not the scary part. The scary part is if you still take too long, suddenly you'll see this guy, Baron von Blubba. Now you've got an unkillable ghost whale chasing you down while the game is telling you to hurry and while enemies are going super fast for even more pressure. Then if you still take too long, he starts moving twice as fast, matching everything else that's going on. You got these weird floating controls and his glowing red eye is staring you down. There's nothing you can do to stop him!
Once more, if I may, where in any of this does his bad wording damage anything he says? Short answer, it doesn't. Second answer, listen to what your opponent is saying before you open your mouth.
Also, a production issue that absolutely plagues this video, blatant black borders.
I come back from almost a year of inactivity to this of all things. This is gonna be a bumpy ride.
Now, those of you who have been with the CC for a while now may remember a hashtag called #BlackBordersMatter, which is a suggestion to content creators to remove black borders to make their videos more appealing. I bring this up as Jared here doesn't even try to hide his blatant black borders, given that his intro skit, number transition, and zoomed in gameplay all filled the entire screen. Look, Jared, I get that you want to show your gameplay in the original resolution, but in that case, put a background over your footage, like this. See? Instant pretty!
Alright, I guess you're not technically wrong, although if it was me doing this video, I personally wouldn't care, but I do have a small quip here. Maybe just me, but it probably would have been better to either show a different game he talked about, or wait until a new entry to discuss this, especially since Bubble Bobble for the most part has a black background, which actually blends in well with the black borders. If you showed it during a game with a bit more color, it would give a much better picture onto how the borders are jarring and how a background would make them look better. Again, maybe just me, but I felt the point might be a bit stronger with that. And finally, can we please move on to the next argument? I'm starting to get hives.
Biggest piece of shit on the entire Earth.
Zombies Ate My Neighbors is filled with scary monsters. I mean, the whole game is making numerous horror movies come to life. You got the typical zombies and mummies.
Oh, so this segment is on the zombies and mummies. Not exactly the kind of enemies I would expect on this list, but whatever.
Forget about them.
Oh, a fake out. Kind of predictable, but oh well. Let's see the actual candidate.
The chainsaw-wielding maniacs chase you down. If you knock them over, they'll get right back up again. We'll cut through walls when you think you're safe.
Ah, it's on the chainsaw enemies. Well, let's see what you have to say about them.
Forget about them.
Wait, another fake out? Okay, who is it really on? I'm starting to get a little impatient.
The axe-wielding baby is vicious, slicing you up, and once you think you've defeated him, he bursts into flames and continues to attack in a horrific fiery onslaught.
Oh, it's on the axe-wielding kid.
Okay, I think we get the point. You don't like the fake outs. Even if I could give you credit and say it was either dragged out too long or poorly written, you're not making it any more pleasant to watch by cutting in every 5 to 10-ish seconds to make the same 2 clips for close to the next minute. It's more obnoxious than funny and drags it out even longer than before. Plus, this joke could have worked if it had a bit more wit to it instead of just having each additional part be a cardboard copy of the original joke. And he does one more cut of the joke, so I'm just going to go to the real entry.
Scariest enemy in Zombies Ate My Neighbors is a baby.
Oh, so it's on the giant baby. Well, that took longer than it should have.
The worst part is to finish this stage, you have to kill him.
Oh no! This boss fight is scary because we have to kill it to beat the stage!
Sorry, Jared, but did you even think this line through? By the logic you put in this line, almost every boss fight in existence should be on this list.
No, it's not. His point was that the boss is a baby that you're forced to kill, which without context and a bit of twisted imagination, yeah, that can be considered sorta dark. Maybe even a slight bit scary if I can.
and some dickwad night elf starts being a complete dickwad douchebag to you.
Ever play Ski Free? This game was pretty much on every Windows machine in the early 90s. It was so relaxing. You ski downhill in one of 3 different courses, and it's just super pleasant. You're feeling the fresh, cool air in your face, hitting other people, and doing sick jumps into dope flips for mad points. This was the ultimate wind-down game for Windows users long before— Ah, what the— No!
Okay, what makes this Yeti enemy scary? Honestly, Jared, making a Speaks for Itself segment like this is probably the laziest thing you can do in a countdown. Segments like these don't explain why a segment is on a countdown, leaving viewers confused as to what in the world happened.
Not always, it just depends on if it can be written well and you don't have too much easy to miss information floating around. And in this case, it's not really too bad. The Yeti comes out of nowhere, chases you fast and frantically, and can eat you in a game that's otherwise peaceful, which could come off as startling or unnerving to unsuspecting players. That was extremely easy to get from the footage shown and the way he described it.
Not only that, but in this case, the footage you show really doesn't do a good job at explaining why the Yeti is scary either.
Pops up out of nowhere, chases you, eats you. Wazza!
As it just shows the monster, who looks like something straight out of a 3-year-old's drawing no less, chasing after your character and gobbling them up. And while yes, that is admittedly a little unnerving, the footage shown just makes the Yeti come off as a random jump scare.
So, exactly what he was conveying. And exactly what I just said. So, why am I still doing this again?
Patrick Stewart comes out of nowhere telling you that he has wet dreams about you, that sick little creep.
There is one enemy that scared the deepest out of me the first time I saw it. It stuck with me to this day. She starts showing up on the 3rd level of the dungeon. It's a ghost, but a lady ghost, with a rather pretty face floating there quite calmly, until— that's the face that got me so hard. I was lulled into a false sense of security, and then— Alright, well, if that doesn't scare you, maybe this will. If you want to continue your game, it takes 5 separate passwords. Woo!
Nobody cares! Nobody!
Okay, in all seriousness though, that came completely out of nowhere. If that was meant to be a joke, it's a rather weak joke, as it has absolutely nothing to do with this segment's candidate, the Ghost Lady, and just serves as a mindless distraction that really shouldn't have been included in this segment.
Because, you know, humor sucks. Blah. Though seriously, I don't really see the issue here. He gave his entry and gave a goofy insight regarding the game the enemy comes from in order to close out the entry. Sure, it doesn't entirely have to do with the enemy, but it does have to do with the original game, along with it not overly dragging out. So I don't see why he needs to be crucified over this minuscule detail of the joke.
Oh, but you see, the 5 passwords were the candidate for this segment.
It wasn't. I know it, you might know it,
Though to be fair, I seriously doubt it is.
and I have enough faith in humanity to say that others do as well. Again, it's pretty obvious he was just being hyperbolic considering he just finished talking about an actual enemy that actually scared him, and it clearly wasn't a fake out like the Zombies Ate My Neighbors entry.
Oh, guess what? Kvatch has been under attack by a bunch of gooby monsters. Oh no. Oh.
That being said, before I end this video, I did have one thing to say about part of his closing dialogue.
Oh, I forgot the Vengeance Ghost from Daggerfall.
No, Jared, you didn't forget about the Vengeance Ghost. You deliberately left it out for the signature end skit.
I never would have guessed. This man is a prophet sent by God himself.
If you really did want to talk about the enemy, why didn't you include it on the list, or at the very least put it as an honorable mention?
Because he was using the Vengeance Ghost as a way to note there are likely more sprite enemies that unnerved him that didn't make the list, and to open conversation on his video as seen here.
Oh, I forgot the Vengeance Ghost from Daggerfall. Dang it. Well, I'm sure there's plenty of other ones that I missed, and if there's anything that you can think of, please let me know in the comments down below.
For the love of, you even acknowledge that it's for the end skit, so why are you getting so worked up about it?
Not only that, but Elder Scrolls 2, the game the Vengeance Ghost originated from, is a polygon-based game.
No, it's not. Yeah, it has 3D environments, but the character models in the game are made up of 2D sprites, similar to Doom or Wolfenstein 3D. Also, yes, some of the cutscenes do appear to be modeled with CGI, but the actual game for the most part is still sprite-based. And then he goes on to talk about how Jared found an enemy from a polygon-based game scary and how it shows double standards again. Then he gives his final thoughts. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This honestly wasn't good. You let obvious jokes fly over your head and point out problems that are either completely overblown or non-existent. To be honest, sometimes it came off like you were making points just for the sake of making points, such as the thing just now with the Vengeance Ghost, in which despite acknowledging it as part of the ending, you still march in as if it was oh so serious. Maybe that wasn't your intention, but it still doesn't leave a good impression when you do things like this. Overall, all I think you need to do is just rethink over some of the issues from your video and polish over your debate logic and video style in general. Do that and maybe you'll see some improvement over time. And with that, I'm done. I don't feel like saying anything witty, so I hope everybody has a happy holidays and a happy new year. Peace out.
And it's just like the ocean under the moon. It's the same as the emotion that I get from you. You got the kind of love that can be so smooth. Now give me your heart, make it real, or else forget about it.